Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Hey, today I wanted to talk about my first car. You know, the car that I had in the beginning until I got to the truck that I have now, which is the Tacoma up there. Now, this happened a long time ago. I got my first car when I was, I think, a junior in high school, maybe even a senior. So it was, you know, like 328 years ago, something like that. But anyway, what I had, it was a 1972 Buick Skylark. Now, it was baby blue in color, and I'm not even sure if that was the original color, but when I got it, it was an oxidized, faded out baby blue. It had a, you know, one of those old vinyl tops, and it was black, the vinyl top. But parts of it were ripped away, you know, real classy looking ride. Parts of it were ripped away so you could actually see the rusted metal underneath. Now, this car, when we got it, it had a blown engine, or some of the cylinders anyway. It was an 8-cylinder, but some of them didn't work. It ran, it cost a whopping $500, and we actually bought it from a dealership, so the car really was probably worth about, I'll bet you it wasn't worth any more than 250 bucks. I mean, the interior was cloth, the seats were all ripped up. I mean, there was just nothing redeeming about this car. Now, I will say, we knew it had a blown motor when we got it, and we got it because my uncle, who is very mechanically inclined, let's say, he can do anything. We were going to take the car down there to him, and I could get a little experience with him in rebuilding it. So that's ultimately what we did. Now, this car had rust on the outsides. Both of the quarter panels had great big rust holes in them. And there was a dent. There was a dent in the, I think it was the driver's side fender, I believe, where somebody had hit something. I don't know. Otherwise, the car really wasn't too bad. I mean, like I say, it ran even though it had a blown motor. It still ran. Now, the engine. And this is what I really hoped for, right? This was something I really wanted. It had a 350 in it, 350 cubic inch. It was a V8 with a double barrel carburetor. Now, I wasn't really big into horsepower and stuff back then, or at least I wasn't really thinking about it, I guess, because this car only had 145 horsepower. What? A V8 with 145 horsepower? Go figure, I don't know. It was horrible on gas. It wasn't automatic. Old shift on the column, you know, automatic on the column. With a key. So all you key guys out there who are so vehemently opposed to push start and proximity and touch entry and all that stuff, didn't have any of that. Didn't have any of that at all. Now, like I said, the idea was to rebuild it. We did take it to my uncle's. It's about a 4-hour drive, so it did make it 4 hours on the freeway. But we drove it to his house. He had a workshop, whatever, and we tore it down and rebuilt it. So when it was done, it was good. It ran good. I always had carburetor problems with it, though. You know, the old carburetors just sucked. I probably put 3 or 4 different carburetors on that car, and it never did solve the problem. You know, the ones that you could go in with your old carburetor to a parts store, give them the core, and they'd give you a new one. I did that many times. Never seemed to get better. I don't know. But it was a fun car, had bent seats in it. I think the most people I ever had in that car was somewhere between 7 and 10, something like that. You know, back in the days where you could pile in cars and seat belts were, you know, a convenience or an inconvenience. Got that car up to, and I was so proud of this back then, I got this car up to 100 miles an hour with all those people in it. Don't know why, hit a railroad track, I didn't go airborne or anything, but came up off the shocks. It was exciting. And that was it. Sold the car not too long after that. I think we sold it for, I think it was like 750 bucks, something like that. And since we did the work ourselves, yeah, we kind of broke even, I think. So after that, I think I got a Plymouth Champ or something like that. I don't know, some little economy car that was much, much newer, but about as good looking. So that brings me to today, to my Toyota Tacoma. And of course, it is a 2020 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-road, and it is a manual transmission. Now, comparison-wise for power and the motor, and this probably isn't fair because we're talking about a 2020 versus a 1972, but we're going to do it anyway. This truck, of course, is a 3.5 liter V6. It is four-wheel drive. It's probably about the same weight as what that Buick Skylark was. I mean, that car was not light. It was real metal, real steel, and real heavy, you know. This truck, in comparison, remember, it's a V6, 278 horsepower. So I'm kicking the arse out of the Buick Skylark, right? 278 horsepower, 24 valve, direct injection. No more of those rotten carburetors. I don't miss those at all. You know, I had other cars after that. All of them were carbureted, and particularly I had a 1970, I think it was, Chevy Camaro, which I love that car, and it looked great at night, man. It was black. It had air shocks in the back so I could raise the rear end up, you know, so you drive like this. Why? I don't know. Had a hard shifter in it. And now, if you're not familiar with a hard shifter, it was between first and second gear, so you could get on it, and I think it's to give you more power off the line, I think. I could be wrong. I never really understood why it was there because, frankly, it was just a pain. But what it would do is when you would get on it, you didn't have to get on it. When you would drive it, when it would shift from first to second, it would slam into second every time. I mean, that's how it was designed. That's how it was supposed to work. And it did it every time. So you were going, and it was horrible. I hated that part of it. I almost didn't buy it because of that, but I fell in love with the looks of the car, even though it was really, really rusted and really, really horrible. Matter of fact, down the road, I think my sister, I don't remember if she did it or she sold it to somebody that did it, because she bought it off of me after I had it for a while. Actually put it in the ditch and broke the frame. It had, or it broke the body, I guess. I think it was a unibody. But whatever they did, they went into a ditch and they broke it. Probably because it was rusted so badly, I would imagine. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to get on here, talk about that. Oh, one more thing, price difference. You know, I mentioned that 1972 Buick Skylark cost $500, brand used. This Toyota Tacoma up here stickered for $42,000, man, a hair over $42,000. So, yeah, we got a big difference, and we really should get more for that, you know, $37,000+ or 39. Wait a minute, my math is wrong. For that 41.5 extra that we paid to get this truck versus that $500 Buick Skylark. But nonetheless, it was my first car, and of course, I loved it. Right up until I got rid of it and got something else. Anyway, like I said, I just wanted to get on here, kind of talk about that a little bit. Leave a comment down below. You guys out there, and gals, what was your first car? And was it any good? Was it better than my Buick? Or was it about the same? I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who probably started with something similar to what I did. One more time, I want to address this before I get off here. Everybody always asks me why I keep looking left. Things catch my eye, I guess. There's wind blowing out there and trees blowing around, and every once in a while somebody will walk by. Sometimes my mom stops by, so something catches the peripheral over here, and that's why I'm always looking over to the left. Just in case you wondered, I've had a lot of questions about that. Why do you keep doing that? Well, there you go. That's why. Anyway, leave a comment down below. Let me know, what was your first car before your Tacoma or whatever it is you're driving now? Real quick, before I get off of here, if you wouldn't mind and you're interested, check out my other channel. It's all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator, and that channel is called RobMotive. Also, don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. As usual, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time on the web. Have a great day. Bye.